Okay, so what is the difference between hemp and marijuana? So they actually both come from the same plant. They both come from a hemp plant. But what changes it from just being hemp that people will use for CBD and then marijuana that you usually have the not very, very little CBD and more THC than anything is the growing process. So what happens is in just hemp to try and get like a CBD, basically you have a field of hemp that has male and females, right? And so the males release these pollen sacs and the females, catch them with this sticky sap that they have. Now with marijuana, what they do is they mainly have an area with just female plants. And the reason that this is because these female plants basically become sexually frustrated because they're not catching any pollen. So what they do is they produce a whole lot more of this sap. And the more of this sap that they produce, it becomes stickier and stickier, and that actually creates like this constituent that creates the THC, which can get you high and things like that. And so they basically use that, and that's what basically produces a marijuana, because there's no males to fertilize. They just keep getting more frustrated and frustrated, and so they create more and more of this sap. So there is very little CBD in a marijuana at this point because the THC kind of like takes over in a sense. So that's why they use more CBD. They use just the hemp, and they have both female and males in this area. Now, a little bit of THC still can be produced. So like with the company that I use, what they do is they isolate the cannabinoids so that there is no THC whatsoever left in their CBD. So there is just a little bit of information about the difference between marijuana and hemp. And we all know that like hemp has actually been used for centuries. They used to use it actually like on sailboats and things like that because it was really good for using as textiles and making as a material because it didn't get, it was like mildewy, right? It didn't break down with a lot of the moisture. So that's why like even today you have a lot of hemp clothes because it's really good for that. Marijuana, the like constituent again changes in the leaves, so it's not as versatile, I guess, and so you don't see that being used as much. Obviously, marijuana is illegal in, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know how many states anymore, but it's illegal in most of the states, where CBD is legal in all of the states, and you're not going to have that high effect from it unless you have a company that does not isolate the cannabinoids, so you might still have some THC in it. And that is just a little bit of info on the difference between hemp and marijuana.